Hi, it's me, Elena at yourstrulydesigns.com with another video on how to get the most out of your designs using my favorite embroidery editing software, embird. Before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. And don't forget, all the files you see me working with are available on ytdesigns.com. Again, that's ytdesigns.com. So we at Yours Truly Designs offer several options in most of our files. One of the options that we offer is whether or not you want to stitch something with fill or an applique. Another option is sometimes we will give the felty the possibility to be stitched as a boy or a girl option with lashes and a bow. And the how would I put that? The process of using one or the other is very easy. I just wanted to give you guys a rundown on how you basically the anatomy of a Yours Truly Design file, if you may. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to open up a file called one that we've already completed. I'm just going to give you a run through on being able to use it in the different options that we've chosen to offer in this file. I'm going to get this PES file open, and here it is. So here we have this cute little jazzy cow. You see this green peeking out from in there? Do you see that green peeking out from in there? Those are options. Do you see how the gray on the eyelashes are not the same? Are not the same color as the eye? Again, that's just an option. So let me give you a quick rundown. So I'm going to right click and hide all colors except for this one. This is the placement stitch of the muzzle of this cow. Let's say you decide you want to just stitch the fill. You don't want to make it an applique. You would right click and delete this color. Now, because this is an applique, that was an applique, there's a placement stitch and a tack down stitch, and the tack down stitch is usually the green color right afterwards. So we're going to right click and delete that color. Let's say I just say, you know what, I changed my mind. I'd rather have that applique, not fill. So we'll undo and undo. And we'll go ahead and show all colors. Right click, show all colors. So if I want to just stitch the fill on this cow, I don't want to stitch the applique, I would delete those colors. These two first colors. If I want to stitch the applique, not the fill, I would delete the color that is the fill for the muzzle. Now, if you just left click it, it'll tell you which, it'll make it disappear off the screen, but that does not mean it has disappeared off the design. The design will still stitch it. If you want to remove it, you need to right click and delete color. Okay, it's now gone. So that's the options of the muzzle. And let's say I want to make this a little make the bow be applique, not fill. There's no need to stitch the placement and the tack down of the bow and the fill of this the bow. So I want to make it a applique bow, which means I need to delete the color that the fill is, and in this case the fill is the blue color. And if you want to check to make sure, you left click it and it'll disappear off your design, but it will not disappear. It'll disappear off your screen but not off your design, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this as an applique, not a fill, which means I delete that color. Now what it's going to do is it's going to stitch the placement, the tack down of the muzzle. Then what it's going to do is it's going to stitch the black dots, then the pink of the eyes, or the ears, then the lashes. Well, let's say I decide I don't want the lashes on this one. Again, we would right click, delete, but I do want the lashes on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that there. But I don't want to make the extra color stop on those lashes. I want it to stitch eyelash, eyelash, or both eyelashes and both eyes. If you look down here, these are the stitches of, this is the itemized stitches of the design. So this would be the stitches. Do you see where it says stitches and stitches? Those are jumps, just jump from left to the left eyelash. And then this is going to jump, this is going to be the eyelash. And then it's going to jump to the right eyelash and do the stitches. Now I want to insert these eyeballs to stitch between the lashes. What I'm going to do is right click and separate all items. Do you see that? There we go. So I want this lash to stitch, I want this eyeball to stitch after this lash. So I'm going to move it up. But you also have to remember to change the color on it. We'll do that later. And then I want this to stitch. So what it's going to do is eyelash, eye, and then I want it to come down and stitch this nose. So we'll move this down here. And that's just me left click and drag it. And then I want it to stitch this other nostril. So left click, drag up, insert after, and then I want it to stitch this lash and then the eye. The reason I don't want it to stitch the eye first is because, or the lash first, because the lashes sometimes will go over the eye. So the lash and then the eye. And that's going to be the end of that part of the edit. So we're going to go ahead and Control A and right click, join. Do you see how these are different colors still? It's still going to stitch this color and then that eye and then this color lash and then this other eye. We don't want to do that. We want this lash to be the same color as the eyeball. So right click, change color, set to previous color. So now we have just this last eyeball that needs to change color. So we're going to right click, change color, set to previous color. Easy enough. Now, do not click save. Click File, Save As, and choose the format that you want. Make sure to change the file name. If you do not change the file name, you will lose your original file and you will not be able to get back the fill of the hair, the bow. You won't be able to get back the fill of the muzzle. You'll have to have the digitizer redraw it for you. That's pretty much it. And at this point in time, you would go ahead and create your multi-hooping of this design that you've edited. You can not mess with it at all and just skip the colors through when you're stitching the felties on your machine. This is just if you want to eliminate some of the color stops, because you know that you want those colors the same anyway. Let's say I wanted the mouth the same color as the eyes, or I'm sorry, the ears. I would move the mouth to stitch at the same time as the ears. So here's the ears. Whoops. Here's the ears. Here's the mouth. I would move the ears swap sewing order with previous color. Swap sewing order with previous color. So now it goes ears, mouth. Let's say, and I want them to stitch the same color. So right click, change color, set to previous color. There you go. Easy enough. So we've eliminated 5 color stops in this cow, if I'm not mistaken. One thing you do have to make sure of, though, is that you don't, in your moving of the stitching locations, that you are not disturbing the location of. Sometimes, like for example, if you would move these eyes and this nose to stitch before this muzzle, common sense, you're not going to see them because you're going to stitch them and then you're going to applique the muzzle. So that's one thing that you need to pay attention to when making those changes. And that would be it. Again, don't forget, once you've edited the file to stitch the way you'd like it to stitch, file, save as, and then create your multi-hooping following the instructions in the videos that we have in our channel. Easy enough. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Send us a contact us form through the website, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget your free base knit stitch at the link below. If this video was helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check back soon. We'll be back with more tips and tricks.